Hey guys, Poverty Point Customs here. So last night we had quite a torrential downpour. We ended up getting just under 100 millimeters of rain. So what you always want to do after a large storm is make sure you check your pool. And as you can see, the water accumulated just on the other side of the pool, came across to actually eroded some of the sand into the backyard. You can see a little bit of the mulch from here and the sand. So we'll clean that up tomorrow. So the first thing that I did is the pool cover was actually down inside the pool. There was so much water on top of it that it pretty much pulled the pool cover off into the pool. So I took that out. And the level of the pool is actually over 2 inches higher than what I normally keep it at. So we're going to end up draining 2 inches of water out of the pool. So what I have is my hose for cleaning the pool, and we're going to take this end, and with your pump running, we're going to take this end and actually put it right in there. This is where the filtered water comes out into your pool. And as you can see, it's coming out the other end. Now you can actually use a garden hose too if you don't have this large hose. You just put it in here and it starts putting the water through the garden hose, which causes a suction. So what you can actually do is I can actually disconnect this and you can actually hear the suction from that, and I can feel it on this end. So we can actually take this and just put it at the bottom of the pool, then it will drain without requiring the pump. Alright, so we've drained a couple inches of water, so the next step is we're going to clean the filter. So I've turned the pump off, so we're going to take out the strainer. Nice big bee in there. We'll worry about that later. There's your filter. So what you want to do is clean inside of all these little areas here, because this is where it collects a lot of the larger debris. So the filter's fairly clean. I'm probably going to replace this in a week or so. It's still in really good shape, but you always want to check because sometimes you get a little bit caught down there. So you want to make sure all these little areas between the pleats are cleaned out. As well, you want to make sure you clean your strainer that goes on top of it. A lot of times these will turn quite brown and green. So you can see it's nice and white now. So again, you can see there's still a little bit left in there. So we'll give that another rinse and get all that out. So first off, you're going to push your filter down. It snugs on top of the pump. Then you're going to put your strainer in. And this part here goes on the top of your filter. Then you're going to put your top on. So I've checked my pool levels, such as chlorine and whatnot. Everything's fine, except it is a little bit low on the chlorine, and that'd be because of all the water that was put in from the rain. So what I'm using is a socket. You can get this at Walmart, Amazon, or any pool place. I'm going to add about half a pack of this, and I've turned my pump on. So what I'm going to do is just sprinkle this around the pool. It's good to have the pump on because that circulates the chlorine throughout the pool, and it stops the chlorine from settling at the bottom and staining your pool liner. I should point out, whenever you're using chlorine, it's probably best to wear gloves or sprinkle it in rather than using your hands. If you do use your hands, make sure you rinse them off and wash them really well. As well, make sure not to breathe in the chlorine because it is quite fine dust. And these are the little test strips that I was talking about. So these actually test for your bromine levels, your chlorine, your pH levels, and your alkali. And mine was just a little low on the chlorine. That's why I added the chlorine. So I'm going to do another test strip once we let this chlorine mix in a little bit, and we'll see where our levels are at. So I waited about 45 minutes and I checked our levels again, and everything seems spot on. So again, after a large storm where you get a lot of water and whatnot, you want to make sure you clean out any debris in the pool. You want to make sure your pool levels are at the right level. You don't want to overfill these pools because these pools can fall apart. Again, these are just a lower end pool. You want to check your filter, and you also want to check your strainer in your pool pump. You want to clean those. And something that most people seem to forget is you always want to check the base of your pool. You want to check your poles where they come down. You want to make sure everything's still flat and level, your poles. And also, as you can see, I lost some sand on this side, so I want to make sure it didn't erode too much, because we don't want this side of the pool going down, as the pool is raised up a little bit on the sand. So I'm going to clean that up again tomorrow. We're going to rake this sand back up. And it's easy as that. Just a few steps again you want to check after you have a heavy storm. And this is steps that you should be checking at least once a week too. You want to always check your levels in your pool, your chemical levels, as well as the level of your pool. Change your filter or clean it every day. Again, I clean this every day, and I get about a month out of the filter because I do keep it clean. And clean your strainer. Make sure to clean out any debris in your pool. And last but not least, make sure to always check your poles. Again, that they're nice and straight and they're flat, and that they're not starting to cave in with the weight of the pool, and the poles pushing down will sometimes create a little divot in the sand and your pool will be off a little bit. So you always want to check your levels of your poles too. And we'll get the cover back on for the night. We're expecting rain for the next 3 or 4 days. However, it's not supposed to be heavy, so we'll get the cover back on, and you'll be ready to go for next time we want to jump in the pool. Anyways, I hope you find this helpful. If you do, you may want to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to leave any comments if you have any comments, suggestions, tips for myself or other people. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and your bell notification for future videos. Thanks for watching. Take care. Happy swimming.